Alright, we're here in Fort Worth, Dallas area, about to check out Mat Shop Legacy merch. They've been on Printavo for actually quite a long time, so it's awesome to be able to stop on by.
These gentlemen make up our front end team along with kind of sort of herself.
Austin, nice to meet you.
Jay,
Nice to meet you too.
So Austin does all of our graphic art and seps and anything and everything that has to do with art, and then Jake handles probably 90% of our clients that come through. So one exception is just like some of our contract work. One of our other guys inputs that, but yeah, pretty much this is our front end. So
Are you guys doing a lot of contract work or mainly direct to customer?
Less and less. We were really contract heavy the last few years, and probably about 80% of our work was contract, which for a small shop kind of sucks you dry. So we've made an effort the last couple of years to kind of move away from that as much as possible. It's kind of a slow process, but we're down to about 50-50 right now.
Got it.
So I think optimally for us, it's probably maybe 70-30 is kind of where we'd like to land. So we're inching towards it, but it's tough, man. When you build a machine to like take on that much work, you can't just turn it off.
Right.
Without getting rid of some of your staff, and we don't want to do that. So we're just slowly changing it.
Yeah, we were just chatting about that. We're over at Trust a little bit before.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're also like, they have one contract client they said they work with and like keep it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think they did the same thing. I think around 2014 they were super heavy. Like a lot of what they were doing was contract, and it was high volume like music business stuff. It was just beating them to death, so they got rid of it. It's weird. Like this year for us, we've done about actual shirts coming off the press. We've probably done 10% less this year, but our profitability is up about 20%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just
great feeling.
yeah. I mean,
just
yeah.
less load on everyone too.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's better all the way around. Morale's higher. We're not as rushed. The team's happier. We can pay more. All the good things that keep people around. So yeah.
Great top clients on the board, so everyone knows.
Yeah, for sure. That's our top 20 active clients right now. With a small front end, it's important for us to know who those people are at all times, so that when they do ring through, if we're doing a quote for 24 pieces, we can say, yeah, hold on just a second, let's do this real quick, and then we'll come back to this potential 12-piece order that may never come to fruition. That's kind of the front end, and then I kind of bounce in and out and complicate things for these guys. But super simple, quick and easy. Sorry, mixing room. This is actually all out on the floor until late this spring, and we brought it into the AC because it's so hot in Texas, and our warehouse does not have AC, as you'll find out. So all of our water-based pigments would dry up, and it was just a perpetual headache. So moved everything inside. We had a little bit of extra space, so cut our table down like 6 inches, and that was that. That's there.
How do you use the iPads here? Is this for just counting stuff in?
Yeah, so no. Every station has an iPad. My shipping receiving guy works off of a laptop. Our screen tech, he works off of a computer. Each press has an iPad. QC has an iPad. Embroidery has an iPad. And so the way we're utilizing it is, let's see if on the spot they're doing what we're supposed to do. So this is the job that she's pulling right now.
Just like more count-out process?
Well, we're using it at every station. So you'll see, like when we get to the presses, we've got, they have all my chargers right now, but we've got little holsters for them, so they can put them directly over the press, and so they can see that job as it runs. Any adjustments that need to be made, if we have spoilage or any notes or anything, that'll be done here through the iPad. Keep all our status updates in real time. We've really this year really dove into creating more statuses to try to keep us, as volume picks up, like try to keep us, on top of what's happening at the moment. I think at the beginning of the year, we probably had 6 or 7 statuses in Printavo, and now we've got probably like 30, 20 of which are like highly utilized. And then we're setting them up to trigger various automated tasks or updates that go through email or stuff that goes through like Zapier. And then ping somebody. We're using Front for email.
That's what we use.
Man, it is so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. We started using it about 3 months ago.
We're in the same boat.
And I was like,
awesome.
man, it's too expensive.
Solves all your problems.
But then once we started using it, I was like, I'm never going
It's not
back.
that expensive. I mean, it's like 30 or 40 bucks a user, I think. Something like that.
I gotta talk to your guy. I think we're at about 50.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's so worth it though. Like
no, it's
yeah.
What-
Brett got me like that.
we started doing a bunch of folders within Front, and so now all of our Printavo updates populate to that folder, and then the person that folder is assigned to gets a notification. So when we need to, if we've got an order that we've been waiting on approval for proofs, and that happens, the notification through Printavo, the approval goes through and goes into a new orders approved folder, and then whoever's handles purchasing does the purchasing, then they update the status, and then that prompts
to them.
that prompts color separations. They do their deal, they update their status. That prompts the screen guy. He images the screens. He changes the status, and then that prompts, and so on and so forth until it's out the door. I can show you guys how we're using it in just a little bit.
You all, you're half water-based, half plastic color.
Approximately.
Yeah.
Approximately. Probably 60 to 70% of the stuff has at least a water-based base.
Discharge.
Yeah, or discharge base. We've moved away from discharge base that in a lot of cases and are using a Magna product called Killer Base.
Is that a water base?
It is, and it's super soft, and it has some bleed resistance to it. Like you can use it on a bunch of different blanks and not have issues with it. Yeah, we've been having good luck with it on blends, and it keeps consistency high. So even if if we're doing a run of 500,000 pieces, and you're gonna have different die batches within there, so you don't want to use discharge because the client's picky. We'll use that base. We still get a great hand. Wet dry room for screens and imaging.
You guys direct to screen? Or?
We are.
You are?
Yeah.
What do you have?
iImage ST.
Nice.
I
The
think
single head is that, yeah.
It was multiple heads, and we reduced it to a single head because the cost to replace the heads every single year just kept climbing. So on a 3-head machine at whatever it is, a couple grand a head, we really only need to pump out about 40 screens a day, so a single head will do that. So we reduced it down, and we're getting a lot longer life out of the print head.
How'd you get into screen printing? Music or?
My dad brokered t-shirts when I was a kid.
Oh yeah?
And so I had like some knowledge of it. The job that I was at the time, I was looking to do something else. And so I was having a conversation with him, and my little brother he was trying to do a shirt line at that point. He was a minor, so he needed somebody to go with him to a big music festival. So I went with him to this music festival in LA. He got a booth. We sat there for like 3 or 4 days, and I think he sold like 4 or 5 shirts. But the whole time, like we were watching, like the booths for the headliners were in front of us, and all day, from the time gates opened till the time it shut down,
lines.
they had lines.
Yeah.
And I was telling my brother, like, man, you're in the wrong end of this. If you were printing their shirts, like you'd be making a bunch of money, like versus trying to chase the trends and
Right.
this and that. And so on the drive back, like this kind of where that thought came to fruition. I was like, man, maybe we should try to do this. So I think that was January of 2009, and then I got a press. I guess that fall I got a press, and then in 2010 we actually did like our first paying order. We took a few months of trying to learn because hop around doing any workshop that we could find and this and that. This particular space we've been in for about 3 years. We've kind of hopped around. We've been in 3 spaces over the last 9 years, I guess. Well, 4 if you include the garage. We landed here about 3 years ago. I think we'll sit at this size for a little bit because we still have a lot of low margin work to scrap off of our plate that we could replace with direct clients. Once that's done, then we'll consider, actually growing at that point, or again at that point physically, and as far as the team goes. So right now we float from 8 to 10 people, and it's kind of perfect for 2 presses for the workload that we typically have.
What do you feel like has been the biggest challenge of this size now?
Oh man, it's been gathering like new clients. This market's really, really competitive. DFW as a whole, there's so many print shops here. It's hard to get a foothold, and I think that we're there, and I think that like we have a name and we have a brand at this point that people locally recognize and trust us. But it's taken us a long time to get there. So,
are you still pretty much like the head of sales? Like you're making a big.
Really up until this year, yes, and about 6 months ago, I tried to get intentional with moving away from that.
Moving away from direct sales?
Yeah. Or I'll facilitate the beginning of a sale and then hand it off to the team. I constantly get caught up in doing 100 different things. You know the drill. And so if I try to carry a sale from meeting that client when they walk in to discuss their first project to, getting their quote out and then making sure their proofs get to them and so on and so forth, I'll drop the ball. So I'll kind of get it started and then I'll hand it off to the front end. They'll take over and then it's seamless from that point.
Tag them.
On front, I do. I tag them and I introduce them. I have like just a stock email like, hey, I want to introduce you to my front end team. They're going to take it from here, and things go much smoother that way than
you can enforce the system, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because we'll have a lot of people that come in and they're a friend of a friend of a friend, and they're like, oh, hey, it's Matt. Hey, Matt, I want to work with you. And I'm like,
10 minutes.
It's not really the best idea for you. Like the smoothest, fastest way for your order to get done is to go through our front end team.
So you measure like on the front end like response time and like
somewhat. I haven't been lately. I haven't been measuring it lately because I keep getting emails from new clients or old clients. They're like, "This is the best experience I've ever had with you guys." Like, this is the quickest response time. This is the most helpful. This is the most knowledgeable. Whatever it might be, their questions are getting answered in a timely manner, which they're excited about because when they try to deal with just me, and if I have somebody out in the back, like I'm one of a handful of people who can hop on and do whatever. That I'm running the press. Like this morning, unfortunately, one of my guys had to take his dog to get his dog put down, and so I hop on the press. And so I was on the press till 2. Ran home, took a shower, and came back up here. Like that's kind of the power of getting that off on my plate.
Deliver something or
it makes you really nervous at first because like a lot of our clients are longtime clients. I mean, some of the ones that I've handed off this year we've dealt with since 2011, which we started in 10. So those clients have been with us forever, and they've only ever worked with me. And so it's a little bit nerve-wracking initially to kind of let go. But I mean, we've got a pretty good set of like procedures in place for front end that initially allowed me to take my hands off the rein, and then both of my front end guys are just awesome. So they're super diligent. They really want to do it the right way. So
what do you feel like your role then should be? Like what do you want to spend your time doing?
What I want to spend my time doing is managing the team, working with the team, building up the team, building up the culture, and prospecting new clients, and just kind of refining processes. Like this fall, I want to spend time with each department and just ask them what their pain points are. See what little things can we smooth out to make it not only the process better, but just like make it better for them, so that they're it's a better job and morale's higher and
do you
people
feel
want
like
to
you're
stay.
Doing it 30% of the time or 50% of the time, or
right now I'm not doing it near enough. Right now I'm probably doing it like 10% of the time. But I mean, I'm moving towards it. It's a little bit slower than I would like, but the more I offload onto the guys on the front, which I've kind of been slowly pacing out, then the more freedom I end up having, which has been cool. But yeah, that's kind of the breakdown I think would be optimal.
Yeah. It's
You never know
interesting,
until you try.
The getting on top of the business
Yeah.
is like, it feels like it's part our habits of just doing stuff
Yeah.
and not being good at delegating. And then, well, it's probably majority of that. Now that I think
No, I'm a
about
terrible
it.
delegator,
Right.
which is,
Well, because you're so used to doing stuff.
yeah,
Like, you were trained to, if I need to get done, I'll just do it.
right. Yeah, and for, the first, 4 or 5 years, that's what you do,
Right.
is a little bit of everything every day.
Going to trade shows with Bruce and having your phone die, and then they just do it themselves. It burns down, it burns down.
No, I mean, I went on vacation with my wife and kids this summer this is like the first time ever that like I didn't feel the need to turn my computer on or check my phone. And
How long did you go for?
a week.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, it was great. I mean, I was gone Monday through Friday. Like I left on a Friday and came back a week later. It was a cool feeling. Like I came back, I had stuff in my inbox, and I was like, oh no, what's gonna be in my inbox? And it was people like, hey man, Jake did an awesome job. He handled this order great, and we're so happy with the product, and that kind of stuff. Like
Everything was
I didn't have anything
Yeah.
negative in my. I had no fires to put out when I got back, and I was like,
I can do these. I can
serious?
email.
This is the team.
I can tap out.
Yeah. No, and then that, you do everything every day, and you get to a point where you start to get burnt out, and you have to rely on other people if you want to maintain your sanity. And but we've got a really good team. Like there's 9 of us. There's 9 plus myself, so there's 10 total, and five of those 9 have been here for at least 4 years. 2 of them have been here for 6. One of them's been here for 5, and I think 2 for 4.
That's like one of the hardest things
Yeah.
to keep. Holy cow.
I guess as you make progress and as you make steps, so now that's what I'm thinking about right now, or one of the main things that I'm thinking about is like, hey, things are going really smooth enough that we can handle the growth as it comes without any major hiccups, and it's because of the team. How do I keep these people? Our core team is really amazing, and a lot of them have been here a long time. Like, how do I keep them around and engaged and happy for for even longer? So that's something I've been
What
wrestling
time do
with.
you guys start printing early because of the weather and stuff? Do you start printing early? Or
We start at 8. It's kind of hard to get a group of musicians and skate rats and whatever else.
Jared starts at 11.
It's tough.
They go 11 to 7. They're like, that's what's wrong.
It's like the perfect
Yeah.
schedule
It's hard. That's like
to get
very
people.
hard.
Yeah.
If it were me, if I was running a press, I'd be here at 6.
Yeah.
Because
You could be
wrapped up by 2,
Uh-huh.
and it gets as hot as it's gonna get at 3
Yeah.
or 4.
You have your
and be
whole
done
rest
with
of your
it.
day to still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where'd you get the iPad holders here? Like just Amazon or?
Amazon. Yeah.
Everywhere Focus. And they just got the mock-up on there to change the color or change the status.
Yeah. So typically, guys are working with is they'll have the mock right there, and then that'll be the same job that they're running. So they'll pull this up for their approvals, strike off and run, and then they'll leave it. They'll leave it up because that's the job that they're on. So if they have another location, they know what's coming. The plus side to contract for us has been that it's taught us to be fast, effective, and on point. Because if you screw stuff up, it's extremely expensive.
So the press approval you do with the manager, are there any other pieces that you do to double check the QA?
We're just referencing the proof, and then placement, art size, Pantones. Those are those things. That's that. So verbal approval, then they're good to go.